Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, anybody who identifies as anything other than that, welcome to the On Devin podcast. I am joined by the beautiful inside and out, brains and brawn possessing, curse breaking, one and only, are you the one, all-star challenge participant. We'll see if she can get that all-star title by the end of this thing. I'm talking about the one, the only, Nurys. Nurys, how the hell are you?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. It is a little early over there in the West Coast, so thanks for
Yeah,
joining me here.
9:30 a.m.
9:30 a.m., bright and early, wide-eyed, bushy-tailed. But right now, people are listening to this. They've just watched the last episode of the challenge where you did what some people thought could never be done.
I mean, honestly, I never thought it was going to be possible either.
You guys did it after Nelson. So for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, Nurys and Nelson won a daily challenge, breaking a streak of 54 consecutive losses for my man Nelly T. And the common denominator here is the beautiful young woman that I'm talking to right now, Nurys, who comes in the game, does 4 dailies with Nelson, and somehow gets him a W.
I'm honestly still shocked. Still shocked.
How did this happen? What was the strategy? Walk us through this a little bit, because this is a big moment. I mean, it's been 5 years.
Yeah. He's been struggling. I think he did a good job at picking his ride or die. The strategy, honestly, this time around, when I seen what it was and what we had to do, which was run and jump off a building and try to catch that flag, I instantly told him, I'm like, I think I need to be the one hanging. I'm like, I think I worked out enough to have some good upper body strength. But then when I seen all the boys going and all the guys were hanging first, I thought maybe that wasn't like the best strategy, but I kept telling him, I'm like, maybe we should do that. As we kept watching the heats go, I'm like, no, we definitely have to let me hang. And that's what we did at the end, and it ended up working out in our favor. So I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, that was so. One thing that's interesting as these challenges get explained to us is you watch everybody break off into their little fractals and start discussing strategy before we're kind of get the game started. And it's a very quick situation. Like, you're not being able to communicate really with other teams, but obviously you've got your partner. You're talking about who's going to hang, who's going to jump, all this stuff. Almost every time, 80% of the teams do it one way. It is designed to be done the other way.
Yeah.
And we saw the two, I think it was just Anissa and Jordan, you and Nelson that got it done.
Yeah.
We were close. We had Tori hanging. That was the strategy, because in order to get enough momentum to propel yourself, you had to have the heavier person falling onto the hanger.
Yeah.
And you had to have really good timing letting go, because if you killed that momentum at all, like in the pendulum, as the pendulum swings, you wouldn't get high enough.
Exactly.
Now, Nurys, I got to talk about Tommy in this situation as well, because they should have won.
Yeah. I mean, they could have.
Full crucifix.
You know when the what is it on the Titanic and they're just like hanging like this?
Yeah.
He's just like, he didn't even try to get it. He just freehand.
He could have got it with his mouth.
Yeah.
If he had just turned around, he could have got it with his mouth. And if that happens, the streak continues, mind you. And we are in a very different position, because obviously, you know, what transpires because of that is they end up in the zone, which we will get to. But I have a feeling that, you know, they were probably going to take some shots at some vets. That could have been, like, if Tommy and Annalise win that absolute wild card, we're probably looking at me and Tori, you and Nelson, Fessy and Mariah, maybe Bananas and Nani, or some combination of those 4 in the draw.
So we've seen in the last episode that they were not to be trusted,
as has proven itself. Let's talk about that a little bit too, because you're a rookie in this game,
Mhm.
but you came in with arguably in this. He doesn't get a lot of credit for this, but Nelson's one of the best political players in challenge history. I mean that not sarcastically at all, because if you look at the success that he's had during a streak of 54 consecutive daily losses,
Yeah,
he is not leveraging power in the game.
at all.
Like someone like Fessy wins a lot of dailies and is able to do favors, scratch backs, and then hope that they're repaid to him.
Mhm.
Nelson is doing this strictly politically.
Yeah.
He just aligns himself really well. What was that like coming in with a partner like that that you knew was already aligned with so many people?
I felt well it worked in my favor, but I also didn't like it because he didn't let me fully be myself. Like
Mm.
there was a lot of times where I was, I wanted to make bigger moves, or there was a lot of times where I wanted to do certain things or align myself with other people, and he wouldn't let that happen because he already had his own alliance. I mean, at the end of the day, it was smart to go with what he had going already because, like I said, he's the vet, I'm the rookie, and if anything, they would have been kind of trying to come for us next. Like if they got rid of all the rookies, we were going to be the next one. So it made sense to be friends with or be aligned with all his alliances. But I definitely regret not doing certain things that I wanted to do because I had to have his back.
Yeah, that's an interesting take on this whole thing. Did you feel because this is the ride or die season, right? And
Mhm.
it this may not be the way that it was, but it certainly seemed to play out this way in the house, that there was a stigma that if a veteran was paired with a rookie, the rookie kind of owed them something. We've seen this with the Fessy and Fessel, and I'm calling him Fessy. I
Yeah.
respect the Fessel thing, but he said it's okay, so I'm going to call him Fessy. Um, we've seen it with Fessy and Mariah. We've seen it a little bit with Jack and Laurel, with some of the other rookie vet pairs. Did you feel that way at all? Like, I need to kind of tone it down a little bit because I have some sort of obligation to Nelson for getting me in this position at all?
100%. I'm like, if I'm being honest, yeah, like there was times even at the beginning, like, obviously Anissa was the person to like tell everybody in the house about me and Johnny. And there was a lot of times where like different situations would pop up. And I'm very quick to like pop off. I'm very quick to just be like vocal about how I feel. And he would tell me like, no, you can't do this because I'm friends with these people, or you can't do this because they're a part of my alliance, or things like that. So it was hard, like I said, to be myself and to fully like, just not give a shit because I constantly had to think about him and constantly had to put him first. And he was worried that if I didn't like listen to him, even in this challenge, let's say, like, he wanted to be the person hanging. He did not want to listen to me. I wanted to hang. He wanted to hang. And at the end of the day, I finally had to just keep fighting for what I wanted. And then he listened to me, which worked out in our favor. But a lot of times it was a battle between me and him trying to decide who was, I guess, the smarter person, or who should be the person to be like the main, who wore the crown or who wore the pants in the relationship. So
The main voice, that's the power struggle in these pairs is becoming more and more evident as we start to move through the game. We saw it even with, I believe, Annalise and Tommy. They can say that was a mutual decision. I think that was a little bit more Tommy saying, let's make a double deal, than
mhm.
it was Annalise. That's my take on it. Um, and then we see how that obviously again transpires in the future. It's we got a puppy.
Yeah. Champ,
Wow.
you want to come say hi?
Yeah, come say hi. We haven't had a dog on the podcast yet.
Say
That's
hi.
a big dog.
Yeah, but say hi. She likes FaceTime. Say hi,
What
Chance.
what kind of dog is that?
She is a German Shepherd mix. I couldn't tell you what she's mixed with, but
Yeah, I was gonna say that's got some German Shepherd in it. That's giving big Kyle dog vibes. That's lit. So speaking of underdogs, you guys were a significant one in this challenge. I think Vegas had you guys at about plus 5,000 to win this challenge, which means you bet $100 to win 5,000. That's just they had to eventually start adjusting the odds because Nelson hadn't won in so long.
yeah.
That's the last Nelly T 0 and 54 joke that I will make. Moving on, you win. you got a big decision to make. And I mean a big decision to make, because we just watched Fessy and Mariah go the full rookie route. Now you guys are thrown into a position of power. And what is that like for the first time, walking in with everything that we've just talked about, kind of feeling like, you need to tone down your opinions and big moves a little bit to help, cater to Nelson's alliances? How did you guys work through this? How did you come to the decision that you came to? What was the process there? And was it what you wanted?
So at first, I can say I wanted to make a big move. I did not want to play a scared game. I've seen, like, I've been a fan of the challenge since like 2011, and I see that every year rookies come in and they make scared moves and they don't really put in the big heavy hitters. And so for me, I was like, I'll be damned if I'm one of those people. But I also realized that I felt like, I felt like moving forward, Nelson and I could continue to win. So I thought maybe the best move maybe shouldn't be to go too big, because then that could backfire on us. So we were trying to figure out a way to like make some type of move, but also not put a huge target on our backs. So we ended up deciding, I guess go the rookie route too, which sucked. But we were a bit sneaky, because obviously we throw in Olivia and Horacio. Olivia and Nelson at this point are a couple, a thing, whatever the hell they are. And that's my best friend in the house. So I knew that whatever moves we were going to do had to 1000% guarantee Olivia not going in at all.
Right.
So behind closed doors, it was like, we decided, all right, we're going to throw in Tommy and Elise, Kim and Colleen. Those are the easiest choices. Putting in Olivia and Horacio in the draw was also super hard, but we knew that if we could if the fourth team was smart enough, we could guarantee their safety. So because Veronica and Jarrell had just came into the game, we figured that would be like the best vet team to put in that wouldn't cause too much drama for us, because now it's been 4 weeks, and we don't have to make a move against anybody else that's already been in the house, and someone that Nelson already told me that we're aligned with. So at this point, Jarrell and Veronica come in, they're not aligned to anybody. So I'm thinking, all right, let's put them in. So as we are bringing them into deliberation, we basically ask them, all right, if we put you in and we don't put you in as the main vote, will you save Olivia and Horacio? Because if you don't, we will just throw you guys in as the main vote, and that'll be easy for us. So we kind of convinced Tommy and Elise, Kim and Colleen, and Jarrell and Veronica all to say they would 1000% not put in Olivia and Horacio.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is something we got to talk about this for a little while, because I don't think up until this point, the power of the win has been used to its maximum until right now, what you're describing. So I was wondering why this hadn't been the strategy from the beginning, because you can get the exact desired outcome that you want unless that team picks the safe.
Mm-hmm.
So say you want a 2-team matchup, you can get that matchup guaranteed, or you can make somebody lie to you, which is just as good in my opinion, because then public enemy number one, you said that you wouldn't vote for this team, or you said you would save this team. You didn't do it. Fuck you. It's simple, right? So you get the exact outcome that you want, or you get an easy target because someone lied directly to your face. Then you can blow that up and spread it all over the house, which is exactly what I would do.
We know that.
hey, you, for the record, and I think you can attest to this, I am an equal opportunity shit talker.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter who's in the way. Like, everyone's always like, you just yell at little girls. No, little girls try to manipulate people.
Thank you.
And then I don't care.
I love the way you are. I genuinely do, because, I mean, if I was a vet in this game, I couldn't too much, because, like I said, I was a rookie and had Nelson telling me to shut up every 2 seconds. But I would do the same thing as you if I was in your position. Like,
yeah, fuck that. And honestly, then this is something that people don't recognize, is like, I am doing this out of we're going on a little tangent, but it's important to discuss this.
Yeah.
When I come at somebody, it is not because I think that I am trying to intimidate them or whatever. It's because they've done something that is untrustworthy or dishonest or manipulative. And I don't care if you're Josh, who's 6'2", 240, Fessy, who's 6'5", 235, or if you're Colleen or Natalie from past seasons and you're 5'1", 100 pounds.
Yep.
I don't care how big you are, what your gender is. I'm a fucking supporter of universal civil liberties and equality, people, okay? And I'm not going to make adjustments on my reaction to people based off your gender or your sexual preference or your height or your weight or whatever else. You're going to get it all the same. Because if you try to be sneaky, I don't care about the outliers of like, you know, what your genetic makeup is. That's not something I care about. What I care about is that you tried to be sneaky and you got caught.
Yep.
So I'm coming at you hard no matter what.
And yeah, I mean, obviously I've seen that firsthand.
Correct.
They might see. So
yeah, well, we shall only wait and see. But it's been seen several times, and I think a lot of people on Twitter are like, "Oh, he just keeps yelling at little girls." It's like, well, little girls keep talking shit. So what do you want me to do?
Exactly.
Moving on, we're back to this situation here. Anyways, it's very interesting that you guys, that is you pointing that out. I can guarantee that you came to the realization that we can absolutely orient the outcome here in whatever way that we want. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that seems like a you move.
Yeah, it was.
It was. I
will say I was the brains in the operation for almost. I mean, our team. At least like he'll give me he'll say that I definitely was the brains in the team. So.
Yeah, and it worked out for you guys. It's like you got to play both versions of. You got to play two different versions of the same game, which is let's kind of lay low and use some timely wins to leverage power, but also inside of that, let's build our let's build strength with people that we may have lost a little bit of ground with by sending them into the draw by ensuring their safety.
Exactly.
Right?
So when we threw in when we had Darrell and Veronica come in, we basically told them like, hey, right now you guys have no alliances. And not only are we going to do you a favor by not putting you in as main vote, but we're also giving you guys an alliance, a strong alliance at that, because we basically helped them be aligned with Olivia and Horacio,
right,
who were probably the strongest rookie team who could guarantee their safety because, I mean, the probability of them winning another daily was high. And we told them, all right, so if you save Olivia and Horacio, you don't put them in, not only do we owe you one, now Olivia and Horacio owe you one, and both of us as teams can guarantee your safety if we win. Also with Kim and Colleen, we're like, if you throw them in, they weren't really a strong team, so we're like, it's not going to affect you. Like they're not someone that's likely to win right now. So we have.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. So yeah,
there wasn't going to be a ton. One thing that got breezed over too was Bananas in the episode before episode 3, he goes in and Annalise and Tommy are having an emotional moment about just like feeling like they're undervalued. And only in fucking Bananas fashion, he's trying to be sympathetic and like supportive, and still he can't help himself. He's like, it's such a backhanded little thing where he's like, well, you never know. It could be like an influencer challenge where you guys have to take photos. So
I'm like, of course, it's such a banana thing. I mean, if you've seen right when he was leaving, when Johnny and Raven were leaving, he even says like, oh yeah, you think they're gonna hook up? I forget what his comment was, but the real comment in real life was like, hey, you think they're gonna go hook up at the hotel? And I'm just like, bananas. This is not the time and place.
Yeah, I yelled out, you may have won the battle, Nurys, but you lost the war as they were were exiting the zone.
Came at me real quick. Literally, he hadn't even walked off yet.
Which was also pretty funny. Well, I mean, his last words to you weren't super encouraging. That was going to be a real world success, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, they don't show, but what he say? He was like, "It's been real. Have fun." I said, "Okay, well, don't worry."
Yep. Yeah, well, a little foreshadowing there, maybe. But yeah, that was an interesting situation. Let me ask you about that a little bit too. If you get to play this game again, and I think that you will, I think that you should be able to play this game again, just based off of what we've seen so far. I mean, breaking the streak alone should give you the golden ticket. If you get to play this game again, and I think that you will, I think that you should be able to play this game again just based off of what we've seen so far. I mean, breaking the streak alone should give you the golden ticket. do you see a benefit to entering the game in a relationship, for lack of a better term? Because maybe you and Johnny weren't in a relationship, full-blown relationship, but the way it came off to everyone else that was in the house was that they're in a relationship. So
Yeah.
do you think that that was beneficial, and would you kind of look at going that route again? Or if the person was right, obviously, or is that something like, for me, that is 100% completely off limits, will never go into a game in a relationship with somebody?
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
So I will say, I mean, luckily, being in a relationship or whatever with Johnny going into this season, I wouldn't say it didn't affect me. It affected him because he was a player. He was the bad guy in the situation. It wasn't me. But never again. I mean, I can't say that the showmance thing won't ever happen again because I am very much a lover girl.
Oh yeah, no, we're not talking about no showmances. We're
Yes.
just talking about
Going
not
into it,
entering with a
going into it.
pre-existing showmance.
No, I know that's not my thing. I don't ever want to do that ever again. I'd rather lay low and not be the topic of conversation throughout the house, because obviously when we first got there, me and Johnny being a thing, it was the talk of the house. It was something that everybody was speaking about because there was nothing else going on and there was nothing else exciting to talk about. So it was Johnny Nurys Raven, Johnny Nurys Raven. So yeah, moving forward, not doing that again.
Yeah, I would say, as a 7-time challenger, I guess is the word, repeat customer here, I haven't seen it have great success.
Yeah.
Maybe a few circumstances where people are like in a full-blown, like Cam and Leroy in Double Agents.
Yeah.
They were like, together, right? Boyfriend, girlfriend, full-on relationship, I think, is a little different. We've seen Cara and Polly have success. Tori and Jordan have had success, but those are like full-on, like
Real
either living together or on the path to relationships. I think the mezzanine, that relationship mezzanine level where things get confusing as you go into the game, you don't know what the rules are going to be. It just adds another layer of, sometimes it adds a layer of comfort, but also a layer of uncertainty, because you're now not only having to play the game for yourself, but you're having to play the game to protect somebody else, which can be a double-edged sword. So in this scenario, as you mentioned, it worked out pretty well for you. It got you guys the dub, and it got you that's not what got you the dub, but it got you in the game. You're here, you're in the game, you got the dub, and you got the matchup that you wanted, I believe, which was Kim and Colleen and Annalise and Tommy.
Yeah.
Was that the pie in the sky matchup you guys were wanting?
It was exactly what we wanted, because we didn't want to throw in Jarrell and Veronica right away. Honestly, we didn't really care if they ended up going against Tommy and Annalise. We just knew that we wanted Tommy and Annalise gone, especially after seeing like the shadiness that they made, at least from me. Like, they screwed over not only, I guess, my guy in the house, but also like my best friend in the house. So for me, I was like, perfect revenge, and also get them out the house for being sneaky and also not making too big of a move to shake up the house and put a target on our back. So for us, it was like perfect. It was absolutely perfect. But I will say, after watching the elimination and seeing like the upset, it was so bad. There was like Tommy and Annalise had absolutely no shot that
Get him in here.
My roommate just got home, so she's freaking out. But yeah, like for me, I was like, I felt bad. And I hope they don't show it, because I was up there with teary-eyed, just because at that point I felt like a bully. I was like, damn, did I make these moves? Think like, was it dumb to put in what I guess what the house would say is the weakest team?
We call it a layup.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Layups. Like, is it like, was I a bully by putting them in and, guaranteeing them going home and seeing the upset be as big as it was? So then, yeah, like I said, I'm an empath. I definitely feel other people's emotions, and, watching Tommy struggle and then watching Kim on the other end, holding his partner up, trying to win, and also cheering Tommy on. I was like, damn, Nurys, maybe you are a piece of shit.
You didn't know what the elimination was going to be. It's not like you got down there, saw that it was a double-decker hall brawl, and said, all right, go ahead, Tommy and Annalise, try your luck. You didn't put the kid against Fessy in a hall brawl, right? You in a non-contact event that you didn't know what it was, because when we walked in there, it just looked like a torture chamber.
Yeah.
You know, you guys made, and that's just a leverage situation. And it has nothing to do with Tommy being strong or fit. He's incredibly strong. It's just literally a leverage situation.
Yeah.
He couldn't get up high enough to, there's got to be some physics to that. As someone that's really smart can probably lay this out. I would bet that for each angle the rope is closer to the ground, it adds significant force required to lift the object. So you're dealing with Kim, who's way up top here, versus Tommy, who's way down here. I'm not a
shortest guy, so
right. And I'm not a scientist, but it makes sense to me that from a physics standpoint, that would be significantly more difficult. So you're not a bully for doing that. You got the team that was sneaky.
No regrets. Like for sure, was I teary-eyed? Yes. But was I regretting my decision? Definitely not, because I got my main pick home, sent them home. And then I guess got my revenge for Johnny and also for Olivia, and also guaranteed Olivia staying in the house. So, I mean, best move for myself at the point.
Yep. And shout out Olivia. She's a badass bitch.
Yeah, she really is badass for sure.
She truly is. And I got to give credit where it's due, even though I'm not a huge fan of the mole. Pretty solid puzzle solving skills there from Colleen.
Yeah, she did it pretty fast too.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Z Germans looking like a potential sleeper, because they've got the political game pretty kind of a stranglehold there from what it looks like. Everyone loves Kim, Colleen doing her thing. So if they can add a little bit of performance to that recipe, they're one of those rookie teams that are they the only one left now?
No, Olivia and Horacio.
Oh, Olivia and Horacio. Hello, duh. Yeah, strong rookie teams coming into play here. Yeah. Enough about the challenge. Let's talk about Maine. All right. Let's talk about Maine. You're a maniac.
I am a maniac.
As a guy from the Northeast, love Maine.
Yes.
Big Maine guy. How are you from Maine?
Right. My mom randomly decided to move us there. Well, I will say me and my mom used to go on like girls trips when I was young before we ever moved there. And I loved it. Like, it was so peaceful coming from the Bronx and then going to Maine. It was such a big difference, but I loved it. I felt safe, especially as like a young girl. I felt safe being there. So when my mom decided to move us, I was like, I wasn't upset about it. And I will say, like, I love Maine, but I am 1000% glad that I left, because there was absolutely nothing for me there. I was working for Delta Airlines before I moved out here, and I knew that I wanted to pursue acting and modeling a lot heavier, and I was never going to be able to do that in Maine. Like, people go to Maine to retire. They don't go there to build a career. So
not a ton of models in Bangor.
Yeah, definitely not.
No,
not at all. Not at all. Well, the only it's crazy. From my high school is Anna Kendrick. You know the actress Anna Kendrick? She went to high school.
What kind of actress is she?
She's I forget what that's the one with the cups. Fuck, the one that they're like, it's like a musical. Can't think of it. The
one with the cups.
She does that cup song and she's like flipping the cup. You know?
Is there two girls in it? How many cups are in the video? No? So that's not.
No, not that.
Okay. All right. Wasn't sure. I don't know what you're trying to describe here. I have no idea.
I forget what it is, but she's a great actress. She went to my high school, and I'm pretty sure she's the only successful actress that came out of
Pitch Perfect.
There we go. Pitch Perfect. There we go.
Pitch Perfect. Shout out Tito with the Pitch Perfect. Wait, hold on. How are you trying to describe Pitch Perfect with, when they do the cups? There's fucking singing.
Yeah, I said she was singing.
It's a movie about singing. Pitch Perfect. Okay, well, shout out to her for being also from Maine. I want to talk just briefly, and then we're going to get you to bet on some sports here. You mentioned the Bronx. You mentioned Maine, right?
Yes.
I'm from the Northeast. I've been to both places. I can't think of two places that would condition somebody separately but equally in the realm of toughness, right? Would you consider yourself a tough person?
Oh, 1000%. If people actually know me, I think they would agree to that. I'd say mentally, physically, and emotionally strong for sure.
Yeah, that's you get that. Obviously the Bronx has got its reputation precedes itself for being a home of very tough people, but also Maine in a very different way. Like those winters are brutal. Like as you mentioned, there's not a ton to do, so you have to be cool, like hanging out by yourself and
Mhm.
like being mentally strong and just like dealing with the challenges that come from a culture shock of moving from the
Yeah,
Bronx.
there was no, especially when I first moved there was no diversity either.
Mm,
So it was hard having to deal with that. I mean, as I got older, there it definitely like diversified a little bit, but for the most part, when I first moved there, it was like everyone was like, "Who the hell are you? You look different. You are different."
mm.
And it was hard to be accepted, I guess you would say. But it definitely made me strong for sure because I was always that person to be like, all right, well, I don't give a shit what anybody thinks, and I definitely think that helped with the confidence. And learning to love myself for who the hell I am and not letting anyone else's opinions about me affect me.
Snaps. You mentioned one time too in the house. Um, we won't get into details about what situation this was in, but you said something that was I thought pretty fucking cool, and I believe I don't want to misquote you here, but I believe the quote was, "I thought about my mom and how my mom didn't raise no bitch." Is that a
Yes,
paraphrase or is
yes,
that
yes, that's exactly it. I actually when I
okay?
Yes, it was actually my mom called me from when we had the phone calls with our families and stuff. And I was having a great conversation with her. And literally, I'm like, Mom, I have to go. I have to go. I'm running out of time. And she's like, wait. Last thing I want to tell you. She's like, just remember, like, I didn't raise a bitch. And I was just like,
Lit,
right. Like, it's funny.
lit.
Me and my family were very similar. So that definitely put a fire in their mouths because I'm like, you're absolutely right. You didn't raise a scared woman. You raised a strong, independent woman, and I'm here to prove that to everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome. Nurys, shout out to you. That's a little deep dive into the foundation of Nurys because I don't think that many people know how layered you are, and I'm hoping that they get to an insight into that in this season. We've got to hang out outside of the show. We've got to have some good conversations while filming. I can attest to the fact that there is more than meets the eye with you. And we're just now starting to see that unfold in front of us on TV. As again, Nelson, I promise, last joke, you pull a literal miracle out and break a 54 daily challenge losing streak. So congratulations to you.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can keep the wins going here.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's transition into a little bit of NFL sports betting. Nurys, how do you feel about that?
I've never done it, but let's give it a shot. I will say though, because I've never done it, I am such a believer of beginner's luck, and I have bet on other things before, and every time I've done it for the first time, it's successful. So let's
This
see.
is exactly the take that I had with Michelle and Tori, who were both like, there's absolutely nothing I can do. I don't know how to do this. What am I doing? And I was like, dude, just give it a shot. You never know.
Yeah, do it.
First game. This is an interesting one. We're going to skip the Thursday night game because I don't think it's going to be very fun. Do you want the teams? Do you want the mascots? Or do you want the teams and the mascots? Or do you want the Michelle version of this, which is the teams, the mascots, and the colors?
No, just the teams are fine.
Okay, just the teams.
Yeah.
So, Green Bay versus Detroit.
We see. I'm trying to remember what my friends tell me. I'm gonna go with Green Bay.
Okay, she's taking Green Bay. She's fading the Lions. They are abysmal. All right, so first pick here, we've got the Packers. We're just taking these all money lines, by the way. So just to win the event, and that is all that they have to do. There's no odds.
Awesome.
There's no point point spreads. There's nothing like that. You're just picking winners, teams that you think are going to win the event. Moving on.
Okay.
The Las Vegas Raiders or the Jacksonville Jaguars?
You said the Las Vegas Raiders and the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Correct.
I'm going to say the Raiders.
Let's go! Yes, Nurys.
I'm doing good. Am I doing good?
I mean, I don't know. They haven't played yet, and they absolutely stink, but I picked them.
Are they the better team right now?
It's hard to say. I guess we'll find out. I guess we're fixing to find out here on Sunday at 1:00. And you want to know what? Let's go to. Well, no. Yeah, this is a better version. And it's a 4:00 game, so we'll spread it out a little bit. You've got your Los Angeles Rams versus Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who you got?
You see, so my friend bets on the Rams a lot, and he is constantly disappointed. So what's the other team? I don't even remember what other team it was.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
We'll go with the Buccaneers and say that they're going to beat the Rams because, yeah, like I said, I've seen him lose money. So I guess I will just pick the other team.
Yes, fading your bad sports betting friend is a good way to do it. So that leaves us with a three-way money line parlay. Tito, if you don't mind pulling up the odds on this, I would be interested to see what it looks like if possible. But we've got a three-way money line parlay of the Packers, the Raiders, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is the Nurys 3-team heater parlay.
Let's see.
We're going to see if she can keep this winning streak alive. And I think if there's anyone that can do it, Nurys, it's you. It's you. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you across all social media platforms, or plug any businesses or websites that you have, whatever you want to do. The floor is yours.
So on Instagram and Twitter, you can find me Nurys Mateo. And I think it's on TikTok, it's just Nurys KM, I believe. So you guys can find me there. I talk a lot of shit on Twitter. You guys can follow me. If you guys want to see the cuter side, which is the Instagram, you guys can see me on there. And then I show my personality on TikTok. So there you go. It's
a triple threat, to be honest. It's a three-pronged approach there to social media.
3 different people on each platform.
That's right. Oh, and your odds have just came in here. So a $100 bet on the Nurys 3-team heater money line parlay, again, which is the Packers, the Raiders, and the Bucks, is going to yield you $494. Okay, that's going to be almost a $500 return if you are tailing Nurys, and I suggest that you do, because our guests have been pretty hot with their parlays. Okay,
luck. Come on.
What an electric episode.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a little thank you to you, Nurys, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, for giving us a little bit more insight. Everybody continue watching the challenge Ride or Dies every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on MTV. You will have me and Nurys for at least one more episode. Isn't that right, Nurys?
Exactly. At least one more episode.
That's correct. Thank you again. What's that?
The AYTO family. We're
oh, yeah. Okay. Really quick before we go. We finally kind of have an Are You the One alliance.
Yeah, we do.
It's taken me 7 years. It's taken me 7
odds. You,
years.
Corey, and then me and Nelson, all of us from Are You the One?
Yep. The only other alliance that I've been waiting for is to have a name rhyming alliance. And I actually thought I had one initially when we all were waiting to go into the house. I went up to Kenny. I thought his name was Kevin. And I said, hey, I manifested you. And he was like, what do you mean? And I said, I've been waiting for a name rhyming alliance, Devin and Kevin. And he goes, my name is Kenny. So
like, better luck next time.
Better luck next time. Nurys, outstanding. We appreciate you. Thanks a lot.